Up next, a married couple must confront painful truths in this insightful observational drama from director Shema Zarhin. And this film is called Bliss, which is Hemda, an Israeli film that premiered at the fest that Charles, I had an opportunity to see before the festival. I asked for a screener of this. And this film is the story of a couple, a husband who is probably about maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20 years older than his young wife. And they are living in, this is a really good place. They're living someplace in Europe. And it was a really interesting story because the two of them, um, he's sort of, I want to remember he's retired and she is a therapist. She works and she's an aquatic therapist, right? So she
Yeah.
works with patients who are that she takes through in swimming pools and kind of like helps work their joints and they've suffered some injuries. And their relationship is a very interesting thing, man. Uh, Everything seems to be going along just fine until someone from an ex-patient of hers from her past reemerges and sort of brings about some feelings. The husband sort of understands or figures it out, and there's a confrontation. Um, and as all couples go through these ups and downs and these really long relationships when you've been married to people 20, 30, 40 years, there's some good moments and there's some bad moments. And over the course of the 2 hours of watching Bliss, we sort of get inside their relationship, inside some of their struggles. And I thought it was a really interesting film. Now, it also, in addition to the relationship aspects, Charles, it also plays with race in a way that I thought was really interesting with the timing of what's going on now with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. There's a great scene in it, man, where he's got his granddaughter. The husband has a granddaughter, and he takes her shopping, and he is trying to get the young lady to lower her price, right?
Hmm.
He asks a couple of times, and then he speaks to her in her language. And the woman, as you can imagine, was not thrilled. Like, so now you feel by talking to me in my native tongue, that's gonna get you. Yeah, so that was really interesting. But Bliss is a really interesting film, and it's a wonderful character study, Charles. I know this is a film, had you watched it, thinking about your own long-term situation, I'm not gonna say it's more relatable to you, but it's something that you probably have experienced or have seen other couples who have been married for an extended amount of time kind of go through that whole not just bonding period, but you got to understand that when you're with
Hmm.
somebody that long, you know your mate, man, and you know that there's going to be some issues that you guys have had to work through. And I think that the director in this film did a really brilliant job of kind of telling the story in a really low key way, but a very effective storytelling.
Okay. I remember Bliss was another film that I also got a screener for, but I just never got an opportunity to watch it. So I'm willing to check it out real soon.
All right, so Bliss. Having said that, I think I gave this movie. There was a score between a B minus and a C plus. I'm sort of in there. It's not a B. Hmm.
So a C plus plus.
I would go with a B minus. I would go with a B minus. I like the storytelling. I really and I got it the first time out, and I was really into the story, and I was very engrossed in their challenges, their joys, their pains, as the late great Frankie Beverly and Mays would say. I thought it was a really effective film.